As you just heard, we're going to have a quick lightning talk conversation talking about achieving learning excellence for the AWS stack. I'm Molly McKinstry. I'm the Vice President of Sales for North America for Udemy. So that's Udemy, not Udemy or Udemy, Udemy. We are here, we have a booth, and I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about what we are doing and how we can help upskill your employees on all things AWS. So according to a McKinsey study, cloud adoption could generate up to $3 trillion in EBITDA value by 2030. That's not totally a surprise because cloud does remain one of the largest enablers in enterprise technologies. But this does mean that there's a huge opportunity and a huge landscape up for grab for organizations to take hold of. Now, this $3 trillion is comprised of different means for organizations to get involved, right? That could mean optimizing IT infrastructure and security protocols. There is a lot here, but it's not as simple as just saying, we're now going to invest in this, right? This requires a meaningful strategy development and upskilling for your employees so you are ready to put this into action, whether that is cloud migrations, improving DevOps efficiency, or developing a comprehensive generative AI strategy, which is certainly something that a lot of organizations are being challenged to think about differently right now. And that is not going anywhere. So what we know is that all of these changes happen incredibly quickly already, and the speed of which that is continuing is only getting faster thanks to generative AI. So without strategic upskilling, companies do risk falling behind, which nobody wants. So in recent reports, we know that 95% of IT decision makers actually believe that their organization has already been negatively impacted by a cloud skills gap, that their team was not ready to get fully on board and embrace what this cloud skills migration opportunity presents. And that gap is only going to grow and widen if you do not have, or your organization does not have, a thoughtful, intentional strategy about how you're going to prepare your employees for this next part of that journey. So it is about how can you align your business goals and your business outcomes to the specific skills your employees need to have to begin to close this cloud skill gap. And I'm here to tell you that's where Udemy comes in, and that's where we help. So we work with organizations, with our customers, to build a learning blueprint for your organization that is very unique to you, right? It's not just about developing a skill and calling it job well done. It's really about tethering those skills to the business outcome that you need to achieve. And we call this blueprint the integrated skills framework, which I'm going to take you through. I'm going to take you through. Yes, I am going backwards, aren't I? There we go. Okay, so the integrated skills framework, that's where we left things off. Okay, so there are a couple of steps to this, and I'm going to take you through each one. Ultimately, this is a strategic approach to upskilling, again, where we are connecting skills to your business strategy and the outcome that your business needs to achieve. So we start with working on what the skill your organization has identified your employees need to develop, right? You don't want to just set learners free into the wild. I mean, sure, learning is fun, but how do we know what the skill needs to be in order to get to those business outcomes? Again, we're talking about cloud migration, we're talking about system protocols, we're talking about transforming your business. If you just set your employees free without truly identifying what those skills are, it's going to be much harder to tangibly understand the value that that learning delivered for them. So when we start with skills insights, we ask what skills do we need to have in order for our organization to achieve its goals? Then you move to skills identification. If you know the skills that you need to have, then you can identify, well, where are we today? What is baseline, right? This is a little bit of that supply and demand analysis. What are the skills we need? What are the skills we have? And then you get into that gap analysis. How do we get the skills that we know our employees need to develop in order to achieve those business outcomes, and where do we start? It's going backwards again, isn't it? We're gonna go forwards. This is a forwards conversation. Okay, so now it is about, once you know what the skills are, you know that the skills that your team has today, you know the skills that they need to develop, you've done that analysis. Now it's about putting the right content and those learning modalities in front of them so they can develop the skill that you need. Again, you can't transform your business unless you're transforming the abilities and the capabilities of your people along the way. So this is one of the most exciting things about Udemy is that we have a marketplace that delivers fresh and an incredible depth of content at a speed, again, that is going to help you keep up with the demand of the market. But it's not just about first to market or, fast curation of content. Again, it is about the right content for your team to really learn. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Udemy's marketplace offers. There are several different modalities. We have a self-service option, there's an on-demand option, there's a cohort-based learning option, because we know not everybody learns the same, and it's not just a check a box that a skill was developed. It's really about application of that skill and making sure the business transformation that you need to achieve or that your organization needs to accomplish, you can ensure they are going to get there based on the content that's being served up to them. So our marketplace model, as I just said, fuels our content library, and it provides access to the freshest and most in-demand courses. But this allows our customers, especially when we're talking about all of the speed and the pace of which technology is evolving, to feel like you can have new and fresh content in front of your team in minutes instead of months or even longer. There is one specific learning opportunity that is unique to AWS and Udemy that I want to take a moment to share an example about. So when we talk about different learning modalities, self-service, on-demand, cohort-based, this is a cohort immersive hands-on learning experience specifically dedicated to unlocking generative AI opportunities with AWS. So what we know is that 88% of employees and leaders feel like their business is not ready to take full advantage of this generative AI transformation and innovation, right? We all know it exists, we all know we have to get on board, but more than 85% of leaders say, we don't know how we're gonna do that. Or candidly, we're not ready to do that. So this 6-week cohort, what it is really breaking down for director and VP level employees at organizations how to lead through that change transformation. And there's really 3 components. So the first is obviously the technology itself, and really getting your hands in Party Rock and spending time just understanding what the AWS Gen AI technology offers you and is going to offer your employees. Remember, this is for leaders. This is for leaders to understand how they can bring a generative AI transformative mindset to their business. So once you nail the technology element, job not done. It now comes the change management and the communication exercise, which is really how this gets put into practice. So from a change management perspective, bunch of different ways and kind of real life simulations that this cohort gets to go through together, in addition to talking about how we can bring this vision to life at your company. So again, a skill that you could say your team is developing is, spending time in Party Rock. That's the skill. But where is the transformation that your organization is going to experience as a result of that? This is a great example of how we are partnering both with AWS and offering that to our customers. So we are tethering to the business outcome that you care about. So we already talked about, the skills identification to create the skills gap. We've talked about developing and delivering that content. This is the final piece of that integrated skills framework, and it's really about measuring and validating the impact through those tangible outcomes. So it is, and again, being at a learning organization, we know the importance of making sure we can connect back to the business strategy. How do you know the practical application of the skills that your employees need to learn is going to show up in results to your company's goals and in your strategy? So here are a couple of ways that Udemy focuses on skill validation. Right? So we have quizzes, we have instructor Q&A, coding exercises, so you can have your team members practicing the new coding technique that they've learned on Udemy and within our courses, not coding new product for you or your organization, right? They need time to make sure they have mastered this skill before we put it against your company's strategy. We have certification practice tests, and we do offer Udemy Business Pro, which is very, very specific to those high technical skill needs. We have labs and workplace experiences, again, all industry best practice, so that your technical employees are being certified and validated of these new skills in the safety of the Udemy ecosystem, not going loose on your code, and again, putting any amount of risk to your business strategy. So that is the third and a very, very important piece of that integrated skills framework. We've talked about the importance of data and analytics. This is just an example in real life, what you can see in the Udemy platform or what our customers get to experience, which is to really see the activity and the insights of your users. So, many people here are leading technical teams, are business leaders, and it's not just the technical skills, it's the business and soft skills as well. How do you know where your team is spending time? And again, how can you have that confidence that the skill that they've learned is going to show up in practical application across your business? You can benchmark against industry trends, and you can assign learning outcomes so you can make sure your employees are spending the time learning that they need to deliver the strategy that matters for your organization. Here's the summary of the integrated skills framework. I'm gonna take us through a recap just to make sure everybody is getting the pieces put together. So step one, we've talked about. This is where we identify the skills that your business needs to achieve its goals. And again, I wanna remind everybody, we started this conversation talking about a $3 trillion cloud adoption EBITDA value in the next 5 years. So every single person here, how is your company upskilling the technical skills of your employees? What are you doing to invest in your piece of that $3 trillion market share? If you are not investing in thoughtful, intentional skills and the development of those skills, this is where we want to talk to you. So first, skills insights, skills identification, skills gap analysis. Remember, you don't want to just set your learners free. You want to make sure you know what is the baseline, where do you need to go, and it's not just where you need to go today. Think of your 3 to 5 year organization strategy. What skills are your people going to need in the future to continue to set your business up for success, for growth, for product development, all the things that we all care about. Step 2 is that delivery of content, the content that is relevant, again, to the strategy that you're trying to deliver against. How can my employees obtain the skills that they need? We partner with our customers to make sure the content that your teams consume is center of the target to those business outcomes that you care about. And then last but certainly not least is that measurement and validation of the impact. If you're going to take your team's time, dedicate it to learning and investing in skill development, you've got to make sure you can measure the tangible impact it's having on your business. And again, pull it all the way through to those strategic outcomes. It's not about a box check for a new skill. It's really about how it shows up in executing on your company plan. And then all of these ways is how Udemy helps us do that, right? So we talked about the marketplace vibrancy for enterprise needs. We've talked about the different learning modalities that you get access to on our site, AI machine learning driven platform that is going to empower both our instructors, but also our learners and our customer organizations to get the absolute most out of your learning experience. Skills, insights, and analytics, we've already talked about that. We've talked about a variety of the different modalities, including on-demand, self-service, and that more immersive hands-on cohort learning experience, and then badges and assessments for our business pro users, really looking to have that workspace kind of lab environment to validate that skill has been developed. So here's a great example of Udemy in action. This is one of our customers who is a large manufacturing and construction company who uses Udemy specifically for the purpose of upskilling their employees on the AWS tech stack and to develop the business and soft skills of their leaders. So obviously we're talking a lot about technical skill development. We are at AWS reInvent, but there is also the business side, right? When you think about change transformation, change management, communication, how do you inspire employees to go on this change journey with you? So the company's average course rating, again, member step 2, curated, very specific structured content consumption, a 4.5 rating. Percentage of learners consuming the non-tech content. So this is interesting, right? Because you think of skill validation and learning, it's going to be all those tech skills. But our employees care about the soft skills as well. You know, they want to understand how to have tough conversations, how to have career conversations, how to be a strong leader to their team. 400% of learners consuming even that non-technical content. And the percentage of learners who advanced in more than 3 skills is 800%. So if you think about those learners are your people, they're your employees. It is hard to think of a more worthwhile investment than your most expensive resource, the people who work for you and your business. And if 800% of this organization's people said, I developed 3 or more skills as a result of accessing the Udemy platform, guess what? That's a highly engaged, highly motivated employee who knows the business is investing back in them. Win, win, win. Couple of quotes you can see. My company is exploring Amazon Connect. This course provided great foundational knowledge to quickly get us started with building basic to advanced contract center solutions for the company. So something just super tangible and specific if you think of your organization and how you're leveraging the AWS tech stack. And then obviously just highlighting the quality of the content, incredibly well structured, curated to your business needs and the outcomes that you are trying to achieve. So hopefully you are excited to learn more about Udemy. And if you are, we do have a booth here. We are here all week. We are in that back corner, I think, booth number 167.